Hey, we're back, baby. It took us a while. We haven't done a Totalitarian Tuesday in a minute.
Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yeah.
See where that
we
got
had that,
you.
and then
we had people hitting us up. You doing a live stream tonight? It's like, bro, it's Valentine's Day. Imagine, I'd have been divorced today had we done.
I hope everybody's having a fantastic Tuesday. Let's see. Virginia Bushcrafter, 300 Survival, Amber, Coffee First, Vision Preparedness, Tony 91, Ronnie Brunn, my man Marco in the house, East Tennessee Preparedness, Jay Creature. What's going on, man? He says, fight the Blue Wrench Gang. I post what I want. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday, man. It's a lot of shit going on.
It's in the air.
It is indeed in the air. Pilgrim Prepper. That's tomorrow, my friend. Tomorrow would be indeed the We All Gonna Die Wednesday.
I mean, technically, he's not wrong.
Yeah. We're just not there yet.
That's a pretty all-encompassing statement. You know, imagine like the feds come in this chat and they're like, "Wow, these guys are pretty depressed." That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. Let's see who else we got here. William K's in the house. Loretta, K. Paul, Johnny Preps, Nostradamus, Water Tiger, Charlie Alpha Tango. How are you? Livingston, man, what are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, I mean, top story tonight's got to be
good old Bo Jiden headed to the Ukraine,
folks.
Is he trying to get us all killed tomorrow?
Joe Biden, apparently our president, my president, and I'm going to tell you why. He's on a peace, a fight starting mission to Ukraine. And he went over there. He went over there with a big pocket full of freaking money. And he was like, here you go. And like, I hope everything's great. And like, how you doing? Let's have a hug and get photos. And the reason for this is because they were like, there was like a serious rail accident in like Ohio. And Joe Biden was like, where?
Yeah.
And then like, he was just like, you know what? F that. I'm leaving. I'm going to go hang out with my good buddy Zelensky. And for that, I mean, I'm not the first person to, deny the reality of Ohio. So here goes Joe Biden.
Ohio is real, Livingston.
Joe Biden speaking my language. He was like, that ain't real.
Ohio is indeed real. Charlie Alpha Tango, it really seems that America Last is their policy. It seems to be China first.
Where does that get you?
More trouble.
Well, and what's the motivation? I mean, is this cabal of secret people who aren't actually so secret? They're right there in our face doing it.
So the whole world is dividing.
They got.
It's all dividing. The Chinese and the Russians are banding together, right? They're creating that whole BRICS, the whole new currency thing.
So we've been infiltrated by like Chinese sympathizers at the government level.
Yeah, they did find that some spies worked for like Nancy Pelosi forever.
And, right? Some pretty influential people there. Feinstein was like dating one or whatever that was. Like.
It's true. But yeah, man, it's a shit show to say the least. Self-care is fucking canceled. We're talking shit about the government tonight. So let's get that out in the air right now. Monetization be damned. Screw it all.
It seems as if on the national level, to say the least, the government is just kind of like paralyzed with its own like arrogance and like
absolutely
out of touchness, ivory tower syndrome going on.
So when they tell him like you probably shouldn't go there, right? You probably shouldn't
great ice cream in Kiev.
These are his advisors, right? And they're like, hey man, you probably shouldn't go there. And he's like, well,
I'm Joe Biden. I go there.
And, I'm listening to reports saying that he took like a 10-hour freaking train ride to Kiev. Are you shitting me?
Was it really to the airplane? Though.
Was it really too dangerous to get on a helicopter and fly there? Probably. There's just too many missiles flying in the air to be flying somebody like that into a place like that.
It's super hard to like target a train. Plus, you can like pull it into like tunnels and stuff, especially in Europe.
Well, I also heard rumor that they let Russia know that he was actually going to be going there, so there was no.
I feel like they probably
mishaps.
did. I feel like they probably did. We've cooperated with them on that level, like in Syria and stuff like this, in theaters where we were both active without actually targeting each other.
Right. Interesting, man. Really, really.
When you dig that kind of thing up, you start to be like, "What the hell do you mean?" So we're like working with, it's like, "Hey, bud, we're gonna do this thing, and like it's so weird, like they share information on that level."
But yeah, I mean, you're like literally shouting out, "Hey, we're going here," Don't
break the rules, you guys. Don't
pop a shot at us or nothing,
Yeah, and it's like a kind of a dare.
So I see the video of him like walking out into the streets of Kiev, and as soon as he like clears the tunnel, the freaking air raid sirens go off. Now the reporters have said
action
that in a long while they haven't heard air raid sirens in Kiev for a long time.
You gotta get the dramatic effect.
I think that's exactly what it was. They knew the news crews were out there. I'm sure they were all lined up along that wall, all the cameras going at the same time to follow Bo Biden in the Ukraine with old Zelensky. And he is like the spoiled freaking child of the world right now who gets everything he asks for.
He didn't even have to sign up for NATO.
He's just... So what do you say today? Another $500 million.
And fighter jets, they want F-16s now.
Another $500 million.
No,
they are literally bleeding us dry. I mean, how can we continue? The war has been going on for a couple of days short of a year now, right?
Over. It was like the 1 year.
The 24th. 24th will be the day. So we've got a couple of days before we're there, right? The 24th, I believe, was the day that they launched the invasion. And now we're a year into this and billions of dollars into this. We have to ask ourselves the question, is this sustainable? Can we financially keep doing this?
Sure.
I mean,
just print more money, bro.
So like you said, they Ohio could use a hand right now, right?
He was basically like, nah.
$50 billion to Ukraine.
Better things to do. Big guy gotta
give
go.
up.
The big guy's got to keep up appearances over there. He's got a lot of lot of chips on the table.
A lot of laundry to be done, right? As the sirens blare, you're right, K. Paul. It had to be staged, man. Had to be staged.
You think Ukraine's real?
So you have the theater of war.
He thinks Ukraine's real.
Right? The theater of war, and you also have
the
political theater.
You think Joe Biden really went to Kiev?
And believe me when I say that theater is what it is.
He thinks they landed on the moon too, probably.
Nah, man, the Red Hot Chili Peppers told me they made it in a Hollywood basement. Facts.
It's not hard.
Hunter, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's tough to even get mad. You just see this stuff happening and you just shake your head and keep going about your day, because ultimately, what can we do? I mean, aside from, we're literally watching the car racing off of the cliff, right? And we can't look away, right? You cannot look away.
We're sitting in the back seat of the car going, he won't act.
No, he's going to stop. He's going to stop before we go over the edge. He's going to stop.
There's no way.
Yeah, he's going to stop. He's going to stop. No, and he's just hammering the gas pedal. No signs of letting off.
Wow, this is, you know what?
Foot to the rug, man. Foot to the rug.
I guess this is a lesson in don't transfer your moral compass to someone or something else. Just because you wouldn't do the thing, believe me.
Correct.
People will do the
You can't
thing.
put your morals in somebody else.
No, you wish, and that's all you'll get. See if it comes true.
Literally, the American people are just numbers to these folks. We're votes.
Kind of, it's a bit, maybe probably too many of us.
They would refer to us all as voters, right? Not the people. We're just voters. Uncle Charlie said, they said, give it away now. It's true. It's true. VJJ Bodie, welcome. Originally from Pine Bush, New York, and now lives in Connecticut. Welcome to Totalitarian Tuesday. And there is indeed something in the air. And perhaps the water, and perhaps some other things. Patty S., good evening.
Let's just say, if you take like earth, water, fire, and air, right?
Yeah.
You ain't getting the Captain Planet you gonna get is like some decrepit crackhead, like, you know what I mean? All right, now, where is he there? The roaming prepper, welcome, of course.
Yeah, welcome.
He said it smacks of fifth column stuff. Now, I was thinking about this.
Yes.
I've been saying since this train thing kind of opened me up a little bit, was like not too long ago, if you remember, they was burning down the food factories and stuff, and attacking like big industrial farms and stuff.
Absolutely.
I used the word attacked. That was pure speculation, but you know what I mean? And there was a big slew of like, oh my goodness, like all the food factories are burning down. And then it was this. And then they tried to instigate people to attack the power grid, and thank goodness they didn't.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then they got everybody scared about that. And now there's the new thing where the trains are crashing left and right. And it's hard to see these all as, it's just a coincidence. It's just statistics. Not so quickly, not so clustered, not so specifically targeted toward a certain type of incident.
Yeah, no, it's just a broad thing, man. Everything's going.
Well,
to
so what
shit.
he means by fifth column is that I won't. It's from the Spanish Civil War. The guy had 4 columns of infantry outside the city, and he was like, "I'll take it with those," and a fifth column inside. Those were the collaborators.
The people that were already in
the
there,
sympathizers, the cheaters. Yeah, sleeper cells, whatever you want to call them.
Yes, that's what most people would refer to them nowadays as, is the sleeper cells. Now, we talked on I think it was last We All Gonna Die Wednesday about the thing that I watched with the guy who was doing for the retired folks who used to be behind Russian lines. They were CIA operatives who lived in Russia and were Russians, but worked for the CIA. And their job was, if Russia ever invaded or pushed out of their borders, they would, go forth and do destruction.
Are you talking about Operation Gladio?
I believe it was something like that. It was something. It was declassified, and they kind of lifted the veil.
You guys can look it up.
It was actually Jay Creature that sent me the link, and it was a fantastic. The guy was an author. He was a journalist. He was a soldier. Then
the idea was that if the Russians overran it, they would stay behind.
They would stay. They would wait for the Russians to pass, and then inflict as much damage inside of Russia as humanly possible to soften up things for, the retaliation.
Now, the Operation Gladio was an Italian plan to do the same thing in the event that the Russians made it all the way down the peninsula.
And I think there's a lot of that. It's
Wolverines. It's Wolverine stuff.
On both sides.
It's there's so many ways you can talk about it. But yeah, it's like the Wolverines from Red Dawn. It's not like we're here and there's nothing you can do about it. America is the worst place to actually try to do something like that.
Yeah, it really is. When they said behind every blade of grass, that was a long time ago.
So you see this sort of shadow, like almost economic war being fought. If you want to, if you choose to look at it this way, but it's like they attack the food, they attack the oil, they attack all your means to like nationally provide for yourself at the strategic level are being
the rails, right?
It started with 9/11 when they hit the air stuff. Anybody here? I'm sure you have. You ever flew pre 9/11? It was a whole different world, man. And then 9/11 happened, and not only did like air travel and security change so much, but it gave such
much control,
such the immaculate conception to the Patriot Act and NSA PRISM programs and all this like targeted surveillance. There's a reason We all have cell phones with cameras in them. They push that.
We're definitely being watched. Definitely being watched. We're being tracked and traced, and they keep files on us, and that's in your permanent record of living.
Permanent record, and you get to continue to contribute to it. Every bit of content you make and share, and like and subscribe, and it all goes in an algorithmic database, and you're less than cattle. We're all just binary numbers in a system. It's really look at it like that.
Hunter 25, I agree. The Patriot Act was written prior to 9/11, and then they just needed something to implement it, right? And it was basically forfeiture of a lot of your rights.
We're not going to do we won't go to the whole like 9/11 was or wasn't a false flag and all this stuff. Like, not because I don't have opinions about it, because it's played.
Yeah,
this is one of those things that just can go down in every rabbit hole forever.
How it happened, I mean, it's I'm never going to know the truth. We are never going to know the truth.
It got burned in an incinerator, 1984 style. Like
it's all gone. It's all gone. It got bleach bitted with Hillary Clinton's emails.
Or it's all on Hunter's laptop.
There it is. There it is. Maybe we'll find it in there.
It was in that damn spy balloon. That's what it was.
Did you guys see that James O'Keefe got like kicked out of his own thing? He's no longer the CEO of Project Veritas. He had to take a leave, or they suspended him or something like that.
A headline I saw, because I don't care. It said that they forced him out due to they were losing money, and so like they were like you're fired.
Yeah, basically. Imagine creating something like that, and then they
just getting fired.
Give you the boot, man.
Well, there's always, they make these things.
Yeah,
they always
work. Well, sometimes they work.
Pookie, sometimes you just got to burn this motherfucker down.
Well,
Project for a New American Century, the PNAC stuff, all this Davos crap, and all this weird rich people stuff they do. It's crazy, you know what? And then it let me be honest with you, it directly affects us all.
Absolutely.
And is not weird rich people games. It's the elite.
They're playing games with our lives and our livelihoods. And they don't fucking care.
Well, it's like when they're like pets, they're property almost. Like the sort of monarchistic.
There it is.
Aristocratic attitude never left the elites of America. We had a revolution and all that stuff, but when you really look at it, the system didn't change all that much. We still have a very English system.
Yeah, man. At some point,
I don't mean the actual functioning government. I mean like the attitude of the well-off to the not well-off.
Folks in the chat, we got 83 people here. Tell me, give me a 1 in the chat if you think at some point in the next, say, 5 years, it comes to a head here in the U.S. and we are at some sort of, we'll call it widespread civil unrest.
Well, that'd be 2028, and that'd be an election year.
Widespread civil unrest in the next 5 years.
I don't think we'll make it that far. I'm going to give you the next election. We got like
2 years.
I'm going to go with that one. That sounds more realistic.
2 years.
Can we do that?
So 1 in the chat if you think we're going total down the shit show. I don't know, man. Greenleaf says it 2 years.
Are we watching?
Jay Creature says 3.14.
Are we watching America, like the end of like America as we know right here?
Yeah, I mean, as you look around,
I mean, America as I know it, I guess so it is already gone.
They passed all these big infrastructure bills, right?
And all the trains start crashing, and weird.
Apparently that shit's kind of outdated and not in the best of shape. So maybe they should have done that a little sooner. I remember, man, when Joe Biden was vice president, Barack Obama, two winning elections, both of them on the same principle, the crumbling roads and bridges. We got infrastructure. We still got crumbling roads and bridges.
We built we built the Mario Cuomo Memorial Bridge,
No, we didn't. We built the Tappan Zee Bridge.
That's not what the sign said.
Fuck that sign. It's a Tappan Zee.
Remember Andrew Cuomo? Kathy Hochul got a motherfucker sitting here thinking Andrew Cuomo wasn't that bad. Where's he at?
He was damn near reasonable.
He quit, right? He wasn't fired, so he could just come on back. Because I swear to God, Andrew Cuomo over this woman.
Jay Creature says they want to crash the country so they can default on the debt.
No, what are you supposed to do? They're short selling us on the Tokyo Exchange? Is that what's going on over there?
Oh, bro.
Beijing,
no, see, the problem
money?
is the petrodollar, folks, is dying. It's dying.
So we need the
it used to be the only thing that you sold oil for was an American dollar. It was always converted to American dollars, right? Now the Russians, they can't use American dollars. So they're paying in rubles, they're paying in Chinese yuan, they're paying in everything and anything that they can except for American dollars. Some oil-rich countries have said, I will take anything for the oil except American dollars. I will take gold, silver. I will take packs of fucking camels.
Listen, we all know
but
that,
I don't want American dollars.
We all know that like local weed guy who accepts like bottle returns and winning lottery tickets. Doesn't make him a cool guy. Okay?
And there we go. We got, and that's the last 10 cents right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're all paid up.
Well.
Trying to do business. I mean, again, you're making money, but you heard.
They're putting the squeeze on us. You know it every time you fill up your car. You know it every time you get an oil delivery. Anytime you need natural gas or propane or anything like that, we're being squeezed. We're being squeezed real freaking hard right now. And I think it's only going to get worse, guys. It's going to come in waves. You know, we already saw the first wave of $5 a gallon gasoline. And then we're going to see another wave. But the next wave is going to go up a little bit higher.
It's conditioning. You get used to it.
And they will push us and push us and push us right until the point we push back.
What do they want?
And then they'll stop for a minute. But they've already encoached a little bit more.
They want 300 million dependents?
Yeah. Yeah, they want everybody forced into these little 15-minute cities. No cars, no nothing inside of these cities, right? Remove all the cars from the city, put everybody on foot or on bike, and that's it. You can have your little electric bicycle and your little scooter.
What does it do? Like,
it puts everything at your fingertips, and it removes. So, if you go back to the Agenda 21 crap,
they want to depopulate most of the people.
Well, no, they want to stack everybody like rats in cages because we're easier to control when we're in small little blocks. It's much easier to close off a city,
like egg farm.
Do you think they would go as far as to poison all the rural areas to push everybody into these cities, folks? Give me a 1 in the chat if you think they would literally poison the rural areas to push folks into these 15-minute cities that are clean and safe. It's all green energy.
You really is so.
Would they do that?
This sounds, well, it certainly sounds quite the opposite of the people who authored the Green New Deal.
I'm just saying. Well, maybe it's an accidental train derailment here and a chemical plant that goes up over there.
And we'll get them mad at that system and bring it down.
Would they really do that to us?
Well, that's like direct action.
Pilgrim Prepper, it's going to be a prison that people will welcome just to get away from all of the toxicity and find clean water and things like that. They can totally do this and have everybody willingly accept a safe place to take your children to. A nice brand new school with everything that you need. It's rough, man. It's rough.
Well, okay, so I'm still struggling to understand the logic of said system. All right, so fine, you got everybody in the box and they're in the cage.
Yeah, it's a 15-minute walk to anything you want. Anything you want.
Okay, and because you keep saying things like, they're going to have fabulous schools and a 15-minute walk to everything you want. And then what's the bad part?
That's it. You're stacked in cages.
What is
They don't really want you outside that city. You know, you really don't have the. Prepping by Faith did a video on the 15-minute cities and the poisoning of everything.
It can't work.
Great video, Prepping by Faith. That was fantastic stream. Well, actually, it was a video. It wasn't a stream. I'm sorry. But she had talked about how this whole thing going on and the medical passports that they have and, you know, pushing people into these cities. You literally, you have nothing. You have nothing. It's everything that they talked about, and people will openly accept it. They're going to push everybody to this. So keep an eye, man. Keep an eye locally. If you see something wrong somewhere, you know, if the train tracks look messed up, or if there's somebody been hanging out around the high tension wires or the pipeline near your house, that's another thing I want to bring up with these infrastructure issues. Keep an eye on the pipelines, folks.
They really have a
keep an eye on
fossil fuels.
The pipelines. That's one of my biggest fears. We've got a really big one that runs through the Hudson Valley here. And I actually saw some of the trucks out and about recently. So it made the money hairs in the back of my neck go woo woo. Scary stuff, man. If that thing went, we would all be in big trouble.
Well, they've been building this big energy highway through here.
Yeah, they've been doing that too. And that, you know, the energy highway kind of parallels this pipeline in a lot of places because, you know, it was already a route they could take. So they kind of piggybacked off of it. So yeah, be careful, man. Be careful. You never know what's going on. So just be vigilant, keep a watchful eye. If you see something, say something. It's going to save us all a whole lot of headaches, I think, in the future.
You know, that really, you got to fight the urge because listen, I ain't no snitch, but like somebody on like seriously, like, you know, flagrantly effing around, like, yeah, like you got to be like, whatever.
Yeah, Uncle Charlie, that's a good point. He says 15-minute cities are the boxcars. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Let's see.
I think everybody should think about how like a society built out of these 15-minute cities could actually function. A society has to have a means, one, to defend itself. Two, it must produce something. It must do
all it has they
otherwise
want to load these up with,
just everybody plugged in
it's like
VR, like
imagine living in a giant shopping mall, right? MY Prepper, what's happening, my friend? Welcome to Totalitarian Tuesday. Yeah, there's something in the air, Livingston, man. I'm telling you.
I think okay, so I'll accept your scenario, fine, with your 15-minute cities. I think here's going to be the thing. Never mind your credit points and getting banned on Facebook. The slightest infraction of the golden rules will lead to you banished to the poison outside. Well,
so once they have your... Otherwise, once they have you in the 15-minute city, right, and you're still doing things in cash, but most of the places would prefer that you just, you know, tap your phone or, you know, swipe your card or use your chip in your hand to pay for your stuff, right? And then all of a sudden they smack on that CBDC. Now, if you're a fool, you don't get to go to that half of town because your card don't work there, right? K. Paul says, Mike, when is the next show? Tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. EST. We all gonna die Wednesday. That's right. But yeah, once they pack you in the city and they, you know, have your digital wallet under control, they just turn your money off in a certain part of town and you can't go there because you can't pay to get back home from there. Can't plug in your little electric scooter and charge it. You know, it's almost, do you remember the movie The Lorax?
Yeah. It's like a classic, like sort of environmentally.
But they packed everybody into the cities where the clean air was and nothing was poisoned and everything was always clean and shiny and nice.
What fantasy world was that?
Exactly. But they're literally building them all over the world right now. These 15-minute cities. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy, I'm telling you. Your car burns too much gas. No money for you. You're right, Kia Chris. Smart cities, exactly, MY Prepper. They want to pack us like rats in cages and just stack us up.
Why would anyone do that?
Hey,
why would you collect rats, stack them up, feed them, care for them, and have them produce nothing or have no value to you whatsoever? Why would you do that?
Well, they have to have. See, these are the worker bees.
Why not just kill them all?
They're the worker bees.
I thought it was all a big shopping mall.
Well, yeah, but you all live and work right in this big shopping mall. It's a self-sustaining environment.
What you are selling.
They do. They produce for themselves, and they consume themselves, and they do everything themselves inside these little cities. It's all there.
I'm not buying it.
My mother's spark, I agree. It's a control factor. It's a control factor. As you can see, if you look around the country, right? Any city. It sounds easier to just fucking kill everybody. Highly populated.
It sounds way easier to just like kill everybody.
Well, maybe when you have all of these folks stacked in the cages, it's a little easier to let the gas out of the vents and put everybody to sleep once and for all.
That was what I was thinking, was that if you get everybody in these isolated apartment block things, that you could just, take them all out at once.
Just leave the car running,
I'm just wondering why I keep asking these questions. Well, I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around what it's supposed to do. If what it is supposed to do is gather everyone then it makes perfect sense, because otherwise it doesn't. A society that intends to thrive is not going to under a system like that. It can't. No. Well, you end up with the movie WALL-E, except
Exactly. Or the Lorax, where you're not allowed beyond the walls. You can't go out there. And if you look at the maps from the Agenda 21 things, the Agenda 2030, all of these different things,
you got to make them want it.
They're all coming true. They're all coming true, and they are making people want this. People want a safe place to be able to raise their kids where they're not worried about getting a train car derailed and people poisoned. Shit happens, man. Shit happens. Accidents happen. In some cases, some of these things don't really look like accidents. They're happening all the freaking time. So keep your guard up, man. Keep your guard up. It's definitely a reason to have a bug out bag. Have some supplies at the ready. You never know. You never know. Make sure you are prepared in all aspects of life.
And, because you never know what's going to happen, whether it's a severe weather event, a strange, an infrastructure event, like a train blows, who knows what the heck is going to go on these days, but it could affect you, quite literally, a small town in Ohio. What's this place called? Palestine, Ohio?
Yeah. East Palestine, Ohio. Not to be confused with Palestine,
it sounds to
Ohio.
me if it even existed, I feel 135 people live there. It is the boom fook of nowhere. And yet, kaboom, these people lives were upended in Ohio. I know it's
coincidences, right? I don't really
those
believe
are hard
in
too.
Coincidences. And the White Noise movie, I watched part of it the other day. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I fell asleep halfway through it because it's a long, drawn out Adam Driver story, right? And I got to the action sequence and the whole 9 yards and the derailment. They were actually extras in this movie in East Palestine, Ohio. They filmed a movie about a train derailment and toxic spill in East Palestine, Ohio. Before all this shit happened.
One in the chat, if you saw with your own eyes the smoke cloud from that train burning. It's going to take him a minute. I think there's kind of a bit of a delay.
Yeah, there is quite a delay in the chat tonight. Anyone watch the Vigilance Elite interview with the alien guy today? I did not, Brett Guyver.
I don't watch alien guys, okay?
POTB in the house. What's happening, my friend? Granite State Preppers here. And we got a lot of folks in the chat tonight.
I don't see no ones in that chat. How do we know that the footage we're shown in the news is not the footage that was shot for the movie you just described? This is
Vision Preparedness has seen it.
This is wag the dog stuff.
Yep.
You saw it. All right. Well, you know what?
So the population of East Palestine is 4,718 people. The mushroom cloud, right, Michelle the Great? It was quite the mushroom cloud. And I wonder, I was actually in Pennsylvania when this whole thing was going on. And when I walked out of the hotel, I got there Monday morning and everything was fine. And then Tuesday morning, which was, let's see, that was February 7th. Tuesday morning, February 7th, I walked out of the hotel room and Angry Prepper looked at me and he was like, man, it really smells out here. Do you smell that? I was like, yeah, man, that's like rank. It's like somebody brought the garbage dump right to the hotel and dropped it in the parking lot. It was a really nasty smell. So I don't know if that was what we smelled there, because I haven't really looked to see the timing of when they extinguished the fire or lit the fire or whatever they did and where I was. So it could totally just be a coincidence, or it could totally have been some nasty shit from that thing.
A few days later, everybody out here in upstate New York was like freaking out.
Yeah, but it was
the air
like,
smelled like this, the air smelled like that.
Yeah, but it was like 2 weeks later, man.
Right,
they're like, oh, the toxic plume. I'm like, listen, man, you guys are too fixated on balloons and everything else. And you know, that toxic plume passed you about a week ago. So
how about that balloon? I don't know, because I mean,
how about the balloon? Yeah,
F-22, baby, first kill, balloon. So insulting. Really, you had to give the F-22 its first kill was a balloon, bro.
Yeah, fantastic.
Killing me.
Fantastic.
Killing me. Poor F-22, $130 million or something.
It's the laughing stock of the.
It's the most advanced fighter jet in existence.
Stationary target.
And you're like, first missile missed. It's like, yeah, because they're not for shooting down balloons, bro.
It's true. It's true. No, they're. Well, I guess if the thing isn't giving off any heat, the heat-seeking missiles don't...
Shoot the F-22 at it. Like, this explains to you exactly everything you need to know about. Like, our current government administration is either so genius that they are enacting... Let's humor me.
Have at it.
They're either... This is the Trump effect, I'm going to call this.
Okay.
Because you have to pick one. They are either so genius that they're going to push through this evil agenda that you believe exists at all costs in the face of nothing but opposition, and there's nothing to stop them. Or they are so dumb and inept that they could possibly even wipe their own butts. Which one is it?
They're so dumb and inept they couldn't wipe their own butts.
And I feel like that's going to end up worse for us.
Yeah.
They have an agenda that needs a genius, and they don't have one.
It's true, but I wonder...
Well, you do got Bill and Anthony and Elon.
Yeah, but all these guys are behind the scenes. I want to know who's really pulling the strings, who writes everything that Bo Jiden reads off those teleprompters. That's what I want to know. I want to know who's actually pulling the strings, because somebody behind the freaking curtain...
Some low functionary
pulling the strings and making all these things happen. And it really seems like they are going to continue to push the envelope in Ukraine with giving them whatever they possibly can till eventually they provoke Russia to maybe hit something just before it comes across the Polish border. You know, maybe let's hit that right on the other side of the line. MY Prepper says the Bilderberg Group. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that's what I mean. Instead of focusing on this secret cabal of people pulling the strings behind the scenes, we should focus on this totally not secret cabal of people pulling the strings right in our face.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they will blatantly lie right to your face. No problem.
And they will blatantly not... They'll be like, the idea that a secret cabal exists is nonsense, because it is. They are the secret
nonsense.
cabal.
They are the nonsense.
And they're the non-secret cabal who is like triggering you into believing that they couldn't possibly be behind this.
Yep.
When in fact, yeah, they are.
Texas Surplus Pro, what's happening, my friend? Good to see you. Long time no see. I hope all is well, buddy.
Never forget the Majestic 12 had a guy on there whose job was to discredit everything the other guys on the same committee said. It was his only job, just to make it seem like there was a opposition to the idea. So it wasn't all the...
Not everybody said yes.
Right. 9 out of 10 dentist thing.
Yeah, the 10th dentist was on vacation that
Well, I guess the 12th dentist.
Yeah.
Every time they hit me with that GTSY, I'm like, Goatsy. I'm like,
no.
One in the chat, if you know who Goatsy was, I know Jay Creature does.
Michelle the Great says BlackRock was in Ukraine because Zelensky was selling parts of Ukraine. Yeah.
BlackRock was in America because Trump was selling parts of America.
What I know is how much longer can we sustain propping them up with munitions? How much longer can we sustain financially? I mean, we're paying for their pensions now.
Russia has been trying to serve America another Vietnam since we gave them Afghanistan. Here is one. It
could be.
And the way this goes is you trigger NATO and Article 5 and this and that. Now you all of a sudden, all of a sudden you got American boots officially on the ground in Ukraine fighting a war that a lot of people are becoming bored with. And you have you have 1969 all over again. We're so close.
Yeah, and like I said, man, they keep pushing the envelope every day, and eventually they're going to react because they have to. They'll get backed into a corner and they're going to lash out. And when they do, be prepared, folks. Be prepared, because who knows, man? I honestly feel when World War III happens, we will not be safe here in America. We will not be safe. So, there's a lot of people, like you said, people are getting bored with this. There's going to come a point where the masses don't pay attention. And that's when it becomes very dangerous, because they don't even care anymore. Stuff. And you've heard speech after speech, month after month, of more money going out of the United States to benefit somebody else. And let me tell you, China has enough money to prop up Russia forever, indefinitely. They can just keep the money pumping into Russia and keep their war machine fueled. And if it's a battle of dollars,
extort Russia, get them under their
and then China and Russia is just huge. How are you gonna? You can't. I don't know if we could win a war against both of them at the same time. If they join forces like Voltron, we're going to get hurt up. Hands down. Ladysmith, what's happening? How are you? Welcome. Totalitarian Tuesday. That's right.
I didn't even the cool things.
He's got all kinds of cool stuff.
It's us. 45 minutes in, I finally remembered the little days.
Paul J. Conroy says, yep, it's a shell game for sure. You're absolutely right.
It boils down to there's a lot of money being made, a lot of backdoor stuff certainly going on, and where people are as we speak right now, someone is building a missile bound for Ukraine. By default, that, not company, but in fact, that person is profiting from the war in Ukraine.
All the big businesses are going to profit from this, right? War is indeed big business.
Ooh, and such technological advancements come from it. We're going to come out of this Ukraine thing with drones that can drop grenades on guys taking their shit. This is exactly what I knew the future would be like, I tell you.
Let's see. Texas Surplus Pro says the talking points when the draft happens will be interesting. Absolutely, they will. He's curious how the left will spin it as they become even more militantly pro-war. Yeah, it's a really good question. It's a really good question. They're going to have to sell it to everyone. You know what I mean? They're going to have to make everybody want to go fight that war. My prediction, Texas Surplus Pro, is that we are going to see a lot of Hollywood blockbusters come out that have to deal with war. Well, just war in general, right? Maybe we'll have some movies about Iraq, have some more of those, some more Afghanistan movies, things like that, or
it goes like this.
Ukraine.
He was a Ukrainian soldier. He was an American transsexual. Together, they will fight Vladimir Putin on their own terms. Together.
Dun, dun, dun. There it is. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. But there's a lot of people who, don't want their kids or themselves going to fight in these wars. Now, if you look at the draft ages and the pools that they're pulling people from, it goes much further than what it used to be. They're taking people as old as 60.
I was reading the thing about like the Ukrainians were way impressed with the not the tiger, the new one, the leopard tanks they got.
Yeah.
And he called it, he's like, it's like driving a Mercedes compared to the things we had. Like Pavel Zukovlich or whatever his name was. It's like 64. Like the Ukrainians are sending 64-year-old men to learn how to drive leopard tanks. And I can't have a freaking rifle in New York State.
There you go. Listen, guys, the rest
I could be a year away from retirement, driving a tank in the Ukraine, minding my own business, and they're like, no, you should stay in America, bro. I'm like, give me one reason.
So the rest of the world is training its people and teaching people that war is coming, except for here. So let me be the one that tells you, war is coming. Make sure you are prepared for it.
Don't worry, it'll be civil.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Very civil.
I don't think so. We have been very lucky to only endure maybe 1 or 2 attacks in the past wars on American soil. I don't think that's going to be the case with the next one. So make sure you're right. Brush up on your tactics. Take notes of things that are going on in Ukraine, how the people are getting by. I mean, we all saw it when the first wave came, that they were all holding hands, slapping five, getting bottles from the brewery and Molotov cocktails.
Welcome. Have a drink.
Yeah, but pay attention, guys. Pay attention. Learn how to dig a foxhole.
Americans
it's sad that we have to talk like this.
Americans don't have
this is the reality of where we are, man. It really is. Americans,
and I ain't gonna sit here like, MF America. I'm just saying that as an American myself, I can see it. I have a defeatist attitude because of what I see in like the American spirit. The American spirit has shadow of itself. Like what most people will do is instead of pointing their guns at a thing that needs to be removed from their lives, they will point their cameras at it and hope to live it out through someone else's feed. The revolution will indeed be televised.
Oh, absolutely.
And 90% of people will be sitting in their house, drones, watching it.
Yep. Sad but true. We're head first down that slippery slope, guys. Make sure your preps are topped off. Water is going to be your number one priority. Food is number 2.
Don't sit back and watch the zombie apocalypse on YouTube. It doesn't matter what any personality says on YouTube at that point. Like you're right. We're not going in a good place right now. And where the place they're taking us is wildly disagreeable to like half the people.
So Texas Surplus Pro says, how many 64-year-olds would willingly go to war to defend their grandkids?
All of them.
Now, let me tell you this. I think that a lot of those 64-year-olds are more badass than half of the 18 to 25-year-olds that are coming up nowadays.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I would take one 64-year-old over 10 blue-haired punks. Just saying. Yeah. One 64-year-old over 10 blue-haired punks. That's like having a dime instead of, 10 pennies.
It's true. Because it's not the physical prowess, or maybe it is, if you're like granddad of Chuck Norris and what have you. I mean, 64-year-old dude, like anymore, that's not even that old if you're in good shape.
The government wants you to believe that 60 is the new 30 so that you don't retire. Because, stay off the Social Security teat, man. I don't care if you've been paying for it, but stay off the Social Security teat. We can't afford that we got, nations to prop up and pay their pension funds. So sad but true.
You get that 10% for the big guy.
Sad but true. Sad but true. Yeah, Livingston, man, we're it's a big shit sandwich, and everybody's going to get a bite.
We have at best 5 years, and I'm calling 2.
So there you go. If I told you right now you had 48 months to get all your preps in order, if I said you have 48 months before you won't have a grocery store anymore,
I think
48 months before the farmland is a minefield.
48 months before the hard
real.
part of the tribulation occurs. I think if there even is I wasn't so sure they were going to have the last election. I'm pretty sure the next election is going to be, if it even happens, like so rigged and so like false and so like fake.
Yeah, we might as well just do it online.
That people are going to realize that's when it's going to really start, when the hammer comes down.
Yeah.
And if we're lucky, you got 4 years after that. So that's my starting point is the 2024 election to 2028. That's when stuff's going to get real.
It's the danger zone, folks. That's the danger zone.
Stuff's going to get real.
Yeah.
People are increasingly frustrated
and agitated, and Jimmy True says 48 months, fellas. I'm telling you, man, things are going to get wild. Stock up, man. Stock up while you can. I don't have anything to sell you. I am not the Canadian prepper. You don't have to go to my website and get your potassium iodide or your freaking MREs. I am telling you because I don't want you knocking on my door saying, Mike, I need something to eat. I won't be able to help you when that time comes. So I'm trying to help you and telling you now, get ready, because everybody else in the world is getting ready for World War III, except for a couple of the more populated places where they like to keep the sheep lulled. They don't want you getting riled up. They don't want you to think that anything's wrong. They will not tell you till the bombs drop in your neighborhood. Guaranteed. William Kays wants to know what the Livingston man is drinking tonight.
It's Keystone Light.
Keystone.
High class, man. Expensive.
Jay Creature says, can I suggest purple tracksuits and matching Nikes? I have Kool-Aid.
I know that Hunter has that exact outfit.
Yes. Yes, it's very Grimace-esque. McDonald's Grimace. All right, when you throw the whole tracksuit.
Got him.
Mike, can I grill some dogs? Like not my dogs.
How deep can he squat, though? I mean, is he gonna
Slav squat all the way, heels on the ground.
Wow,
yeah.
I mean, heels down and everything, huh? It's cool.
The 3 pimpled-faced kids at Sam's Club have more preps than us. That is a fact. That is a fact.
You can't count these blue-haired punks out.
No. Now, when I say blue-haired punks,
these are the same ones who are flying the drones around. Look at that guy taking a dump.
I'm talking about the ones. No, it was not a fat joke. It's just that when I see purple tracksuits, it doesn't matter who's wearing it. You could be as skinny as a pencil. You still remind me of Grimace.
Listen, I used to have this whole scheme. I was going to dress up like the Burger King. Okay. And I was going to have the Hamburglar, Grimace, and Wendy with me, and Colonel Sanders. They all in the closet. I was going to burst into McDonald's and fake rob the place. Like, they try to give me the money. I'm like, nah, what I want is the quarter pounder patties and the Big Mac buns. Let's go! Hurry up! And Hamburger's going to open the bag. They're going to fill the bag. Wendy's going to seduce the security guard. Colonel Sanders is going to got the shotgun. But Grimace had the life vest. He's going to rip a cord and he's going to inflate himself and get mad fat and block the exit so people can't come in or leave. And we just got him and get all the quarter pounders and all the Big Mac buns. And I'm going to run down the middle of the street just like dressed like the king, like in this getaway. It was going to be amazing.
Someday.
Then my wife was like, you get arrested doing that shit. I don't know you. And
Patty
like,
S says, what's the plan if they drop bombs? Basement.
Yep.
Get to the basement.
Little bit of it depends on where you live, but not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Yeah,
I would suggest pulling out your preps and cocking your guns at that point.
Yeah. Yep. Man, you're being generous. Yeah.
That's all I want from McDonald's. I just want the quarter pounder patties and the Big Mac buns. And you know what? I'm going to give y'all a life hack right now. You can go to McDonald's. Yes, you can. And you can say, let me get a double quarter pounder with cheese on a Big Mac bun. And they'll do it.
Change your life.
They'll do it. Listen, I don't know if you've ever seen a Big Mac. The burger's like this big. It's a huge Big Mac. You're like, where's the beef? And, but you drop quarter pounders on that son of a bitch, bro.
It's getting serious.
You really want to mess them? You know, your life hack too. You really hate McDonald's and fuck them. Go in there and order fries with no salt.
I dressed as Ronald McDonald on my last day of work as a kid. GSP, that's awesome. Prepper Book Club says, run to the hills. Now, here's a bit of advice for folks. If you are in the city and your plan is to just slap a bag on your back and run to the hills.
Don't come here.
Have somewhere to go. Have somebody's yard to stake up in. Have a friend's house to go to.
The hill people will not be happy.
If it came to it and you had to get out there or die, I totally understand. You're going to run for the hills. But don't expect to be welcomed with open arms. That's all I'm going to say. A lot of the upstate people aren't quite as nice or as welcoming as
when you're going to run to the hills.
You know, you show up to one of our in-person events and everybody's, hey, come on in, you know. It's not going to be the case after the bombs drop.
Consider the hill people when considering running to the hills.
Yeah.
Because they're there first.
Yeah. Yeah, we live here in the woods. We like it here. Yes, K. Paul, look at NY Preppers, How to Survive Nuclear War series. He has a whole playlist in there about what you can do to better survive. If you are prepping to survive nuclear war and anything short of that happens, you're going to freaking be okay because, you're planning on being underground for a while. You probably have the equipment to survive exposure to those, nasty things that go along with that. But yeah, get your preps in order. Learn all you can now. The information superhighway is still open, and I am literally talking to you through this little tiny camera right here on the top of the screen. Get all you can now, guys. I'm not saying max the plastic just yet, but I don't know if we're too freaking far off, guys.
It's fake. Buy real stuff with the fake money now before the fake money is your downfall, and you can't use it. Because you made an offensive comment on social media and they lock your money. Don't wait for them to do that. Just, you think these credit card companies care? I seen dudes, I went on vacation with a dude one time. We racked up, he had the American Express card. There was no limit. Racked up the bill. They called him for like years and you got to pay this bill. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. They finally settled for like half the bill. Like, they don't care. It doesn't matter.
It's not real.
They're going to hound you back. We're going to send this bill to collection. You go ahead. That's fine. I'll ignore that too. But you should get real stuff with your fake money. Things not like cars and houses, like things that can be repossessed, but consumables.
Yeah.
Nobody is coming to repossess your mountain house.
That's it.
It's
very true. It's very true. If you have, buckets of freeze-dried food, those are things that
fell off the boat.
If you buy them, if you swipe the plastic and bought yourself a year's supply of freeze-dried food, more power to you, man.
What are they going to do? Like,
when everything falls apart, screw those banks. I don't think they're even going to be a thought in your head.
It's not even real, man.
That's right.
Money's going to go out the window.
Definitely check NY Prepper's Nuclear War Survival playlist. He's got 50 videos in there. He says 50 videos of how to survive nuclear war. So check it out, guys. Get prepped up. Stay safe. Any last words, Livingston, man?
My credit score is like negative.
There you go. He is not the one.
Follow me for more financial advice, okay?
I hope you did not come here for financial advice.
I got the good stuff, man. I got everything.
Guys, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you, and we will catch y'all tomorrow night on the We All Gonna Die Wednesday. And I'm sure they'll have some more crap.
Will it be our last?
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Thank y'all for being here. Smash that like button if you don't mind, and we will talk to you guys soon. Hudson Valley Prepping Survival. We out of here.